In this video, we are going to look at 5 areas where you can make simple and cost-effective, yet impactful, low toxicity home and lifestyle swaps so you can get the ball rolling toward better health and better lifestyle balance. Back in my college days, I explored new mindset, lifestyle, and health approaches as I was discovering potential solutions to problems that I was facing or that I wanted to avoid facing in the future. I was introduced to a variety of alternative methods and ways of living, and once I had a taste of them, they truly made an impact on me and the way I approach life even today. One of the impressions that was so strong I never really managed to get away from it is the amount of chemicals and toxins lurking in products that we use every single day. Once I saw it, I could not unsee it, and I had to start finding ways to live in a way that I felt okay with what I know because I was making moves in a direction that felt better to me. But I always had to strike some sort of balance, and I think I've managed to achieve that fairly well. So part of this video is just so that I can share those tips with you, and you can also bring yourself to a better position where you feel good about the way that you're living. It is highly unlikely, if at all possible, that we could remove all the toxins from the things we wear, the things in our home, the things that we eat, the air that we breathe. So we really just have to do our best and make intentional and strategic moves and changes and investments to minimize and reduce our exposure as much as we can, whenever we can. I know that when you're first learning just how toxic everything in the world can be, it can bring in a whole range of emotions like anxiety, that you are living with all these toxins around you. It can be things like frustration or anger that somebodies in the world have allowed toxins to be such a regular part of our everyday lives through the products that we're using every day, and even overwhelm about where to look for answers, what to do first, how to make impactful changes that aren't going to break the bank. You might feel inspiration and motivation to actually tackle some areas of your life and really bring any toxin exposure into a better threshold that you are comfortable with. And I think that's very possible. So we're going to explore that in this video. And a little warning to you, when you feel any of those kinds of emotions or a mix of those emotions or other emotions, I want to urge you not to fall into a consumerist trap when it comes to detoxifying your lifestyle and your home, your wardrobe, your diet. It's a lot, so you have to really take things little by little, break it down in chunks, and do what you can do with the resources that you have. There are infinite first moves that you could make. Nothing is the right move or the wrong move. So really you just have to reflect on your situation, what you're able to realistically do at any given moment in time, and just make a decision what you're going to invest your time or your money or your efforts into, and what things can maybe wait a little while longer and you can address them later on down the line. Sharing from personal experience, you really have to just pick what's practical and the most impactful for you that you can make adjustments or changes to right now. And before we go any further, I want to share with you that down in the description box below, you will find my link tree. I have lots of free printable resources there on a variety of topics, and I made one specifically on the topic of moving toward a simplified, low-tox lifestyle. I really tried to distill what's in this video and what is essential and put that in the guide for you. The reason I titled the guide Beginner's Guide to a Simple Low-Tox Lifestyle is because when you have too much to manage, too much to organize, a lot of those little sneaky ingredients, they can tend to just sneak up on you. Plus, the more kinds of products that you're exposed to, and I mean in particular makeup, hygiene, cleaning products, the more that you're exposed to different kinds of things, you're going to be exposed to more kinds of chemicals and therefore more kinds of toxins that you're trying to avoid. One of the first areas that I addressed when I was first learning about just how toxic everything can possibly be was my hygiene and my beauty products. This was due in part because I was about 19, 20, 21. I was still living at home. So a lot of the household things and the cleaners and stuff, those weren't really fully under my control. But the things that I was consuming or putting on my body and cleaning my body with and clothing my body with, those things I was in control of. So I first addressed any kind of like skincare, hair products, all sorts of hygiene things. If you're a lady, and I see men with this all the time, but I think especially for girls and women, we are so bombarded with the idea that we need loads and loads of products just to be healthy, just to be pretty, or have good skin or whatever it is. And you open up so many people's bathroom cabinets or pull open a drawer and they are stuffed with products. And usually they own so many products that it spills over onto the counter and they need an extra shelf on the wall and they have a basket in their room or the closet. Women in particular, I think, are facing this and it's overwhelming. So starting with your hygiene, your beauty products, the things that you're putting on your skin, the things that you're doing your hair with, this is where I would encourage you to look first. These are some of the things in closest contact with us. And on a daily, if not, every other day or weekly or just very regular basis, these things are very, very intimately associated with our bodies. I understand that everyone's needs are going to be very unique. Everyone has different hair texture and quality, and everyone's skin is different. Everyone has different health needs and budgets. But because a lot of experimentation might be required to find what actually works for you with different kinds of like more natural products, then it just might be that some products aren't replaceable to you, and that's totally okay. I'll share what I did in the beginning of this journey when I was addressing this area, because I still wore makeup close to every day. That was kind of simmering down, and I was letting go of that because I had skin issues in part that I was wanting to address, and just generally like health issues. And when you're dealing with skin issues, it's very, very often an internal issue representing outwardly. So for me, this health angle that I was then taking, I was just looking for cleaner products. I just went to the aisle in the drugstore that had something that looked like it had vegetables on it, right? I was just reading labels. I was becoming aware and conscious and intentional about what I was spending my money on and what I was going to bring home to be putting onto my body. At that point, I wasn't even really thinking about simplifying things. I was just thinking about replacing things. But if you go into this with the intention of simplifying first, then that's going to be a lot fewer products that you have to replace. I want to urge you not to be wasteful in this process. If your health and your conscience agree with whatever product it is that you're considering hanging on to and using up entirely, just keep it. Just keep it and use it up. And when you're in the market for something new, something more natural, then start your experiments there. And in the meantime, you can be researching and trying to compare products and reading reviews and seeing, okay, what might be the best replacement once I get to that point. Now let's talk about home cleaning products. Ironically, the majority of cleaning products that are in the average American's home, they're full of chemicals and toxins that you really don't want to be exposed to on a daily or regular basis. For some reason, there are infinite cleaners out there, and a lot of it is just super specialized products that really could be replaced with fewer products that are way cleaner and that actually make your cleaning routine a lot more efficient too. I'll just share with you the handful of cleaning products that I use, and it's really simple. I keep it super simple. Hydrogen peroxide, baking soda. I have a window cleaner, dishwashing tablets, Dr. Bronner's Castile soap concentrate, vinegar on occasion, bleach on occasion, laundry detergent, carpet cleaner, and I use that to clean everything in my home. And the guide shows all the products so that you can reference them quickly, and tips for how you can improve your home cleaning routine. The more efficient you can be, the fewer ingredients and chemicals and toxins you're exposed to, the better. Now let's talk about toxicity exposure in the rest of your home. Most of the things that we buy for our homes are really big ticket items in comparison to other things like cleaning supplies or mascara. And unless you're dealing with some sort of issue like mold or a really old mattress or like super old dirty rugs or something where filth might be even more of a concern than the chemicals that are in the products themselves. Of course, you should aim to address those issues first and foremost. Shift any habits that you have. This will kind of come down to like cleaning habits, making sure that your home space is tidy and it's clean and it's sanitary. Don't wear your shoes in your house as much as possible. Or if you find that you do wear your shoes in your house, make it a point to clean your floors and mop and whatnot regularly, like sanitize your surfaces, changing your sheets regularly, and making sure that you dust your fans and you clean out your ventilation systems, cleaning your rugs, taking your rugs that you're able to outside to get some sun and fresh air through them. But when it comes to big ticket items such as furniture and things like air purifiers, water filters, bedding, toys, those are things that you really want to invest in strategically. And unless it's a really pressing concern or issue in your home, then it can probably wait. And over time, you can begin to replace certain items that are past their date, things like mattresses and pillows, or you can just update things in your home like your textiles, things such as rugs and blankets and curtains, just so that you're reducing and minimizing the amount of synthetic materials in your home, problematic chemicals, toxicity, filth, things of that nature. Have a look around your home and think about the things you would ideally replace or install. And once you've determined what some of your priorities are, you can then make strategic changes and thoughtful investments in things that are going to improve the atmosphere of your home and reduce your exposure to toxicity. For example, one might decide to initially invest in an air purifier versus a water filter. And there are many reasons why someone might do this. Maybe you're on a busy street and you get a lot of pollution in your airspace, and you don't want that just recirculating in your home. Maybe you have pets. Another factor that plays into the air quality in your home is the kind of products you're using to create fragrance in the air in your home. Because I've eliminated the majority of synthetic fragrances in my lifestyle and in my home for the last decade, I walk into some homes or spaces and it feels like I have to hold my breath. It feels like I'm choking on the chemicals. My husband sometimes, he's like, you're just so dramatic, like you're so sensitive. But because I've worked so hard on, eliminating those things, my body really notices when those things are present in the air. So I am guilty but not ashamed. If the scent is just really strong, I just respectfully and quietly unplug, the diffuser thing that they have plugged in and just set it down on their counter or blow out a candle if I really feel the need to. Having fragrances in your home that are coming from natural sources is going to be ideal if you feel the need to use them at all. So things like essential oil diffusers, being mindful also of the candles that you have. You can also consider things like light pollution or radiation exposure. Maybe you keep your Wi-Fi router further in a further room in your house and not so close to like your bedroom or rooms that you're in very frequently. Lighting isn't necessarily going to expose you to toxins, but it can be very disruptive for things like your nervous system, your circadian rhythm, and your hormones. Switching from blue lighting, that really harsh white lighting, to warmer lighting is preferable, I think. All right, now the last area of focus that I'm going to touch on in this video has to do with your wardrobe. The reason I'm saving this for last is because I want you to do the sustainable and ethical thing and not go out and completely overhaul your wardrobe. What I would encourage you to do first is to simplify and reduce by having the mindset of a capsule wardrobe, keeping items and in time investing in items that are quality, they fit my body properly and are compatible with my body shape. They're styles that are versatile. And then to take that a step further, as you're replacing items in your wardrobe and investing in new pieces, you can look for natural fibers like cotton, linen, wool, hemp, things of that nature, and avoid more of the synthetic fibers like polyester, which I think you'll come to find is in just about everything. Personally, I'm okay with like a little bit of spandex or like elastane in my clothing. When it comes to leggings, if I can have 95% cotton and 5% elastane, we are golden. Even if you invest initially in just a handful of cotton leggings, cotton t-shirts, and definitely go with like natural fiber underwear, please, and undergarments whenever you can, that can be a good starting point, right? And then maybe everything else that you're layering on top of that, you can feel better about it if it's not 100% natural materials. This sweater I'm wearing is not. I believe this is cotton and elastane, but I went through all my maternity clothes since I am pregnant, and just looking alone at the fiber content of those garments helped me to reduce them and say, hey, okay, these are my bare minimum basics right here, and anything that I feel like I need to build on top of that, I'd be okay with there being some synthetic material content in that. There's different approaches. You can totally just base your wardrobe off of what looks good and feels good right now and make those replacements in time as you need to. Or if you're really, really serious about getting low tox and removing these synthetic fibers and chemicals from your clothing, which is very close to your body, the majority of your life, you're living in these clothes. If you're really serious about it, just look at the fiber content. Hang on to all your other clothes in case you feel like, okay, I really need to reach for that sweater because I don't have a sweater. When it comes to the fashion industry, it's super wasteful. In many ways, it is unethical. And I really want to encourage you to shop secondhand when you're able to, support local and small businesses when you're able to, and look for organic material garments when you're able to. So there's a lot you can do to reduce your exposure and to shift your impact in a more positive direction. That is all for this video. If you have questions about getting started on your low tox lifestyle journey, leave those comments below. I would be happy to answer them for you either in the comments or in a future video. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel as I intend to keep these videos coming. And don't forget to check out my link tree where you can find the beginner's guide to a simple low tox lifestyle. All right, you'll see me in the next video, my friends. Until then, take care.